to Victoria Park for the last time as an AFL venue. After 107 years, it hosts its final home and away game. Today it is Collingwood against the Brisbane Lions as part of round 22, the last round before the finals. We had an upset last night when Richmond won't be in the finals, beat Carlton who will, and will we get an upset today for Collingwood on the bottom of the ladder, playing the Brisbane Lions who are third, having won 7 matches in a row. Other matches being played today as part of round 22. It's Essendon and Melbourne at the MCG, and at Optus Oval, the Western Bulldogs taking on Port Adelaide. A chance to welcome this afternoon mighty Mick McGuan, premiership player for Collingwood in 1990. What a day we've had here already.
Yeah, magnificent day, Drew, and I can just feel the emotion starting to bubble into the commentary box. I'm ready to compete. Yeah. No doubt the players would be. But there's the ladder. Brisbane Lions third, playing Collingwood 16th. Brisbane have to win today to assure themselves a home final. That's the effort they'll be trying to put in. Collingwood maybe salvage some pride.
Collingwood will be hoping that the emotion carries them over the line today. They win and Fremantle lose tomorrow for Collingwood to get off the bottom of the ladder and avoid their second only wooden spoon in over 100 years. We'll be back for the start of the game shortly. Welcome back to Victoria Park on this historic day. It's going to seem like a final when they play the national anthem.
Ladies and gentlemen, would you please be upstanding for the national anthem to be performed by Colleen Hewitt.
Australians, all let us rejoice, for we are young and free, with golden soil and wealth for toil. Our home is good by sea. Our land abounds in nature's gifts of beauty rich and rare. In history's page, let every stage advance Australia fair. In joyful strain, then let us sing. Advance Australia fair. Go Pies!
Good on you, Colleen. One of the best renditions of Advance Australia Fair I've ever heard of, and especially with the Go Pies at the end, because she is a committed Pies fan. Richard Osmond is down at ground level.
Well, Drew, I do know one thing. I don't know who's going to win, lose or draw this game, but the crowd are about to erupt. I think everything that's going to happen on the ground, we'll know about it, because there's probably 400 or 500 Brisbane Lions supporters and the rest are mighty black and white. So you can just sense it. It's going to be something special. Enjoy, everybody.
Michael Voss and Nathan Buckley to toss the coin. Of course, Nathan Buckley himself was a Brisbane player for a year before he came to Collingwood, and he's won 3 Copeland trophies and an absolute certainty to win his 4th this year. Peter Carey there with the coin. And Peter Carey, who bows out of AFL football at the end of this season after capping his career with that chest mark over in Perth a few weeks ago. So the first points to the Brisbane Lions as Michael Voss wins the toss, and the Lions will go right to left in the first quarter. Well, already we had Mick McGuan with us, and how fitting. But what about Peter McKenna, one of the great legends at Collingwood, and here he is to join us in commentary today.
Yeah, good afternoon, Drew, and good afternoon to you too, Mick. And just watching Eddie Maguire, he's down on the boundary line. He's orchestrating the crowd. It's a wonderful atmosphere. There he is. He's been, look at him, orchestrating the crowd. And he is so passionate. Colleen Hewitt, who sang the national anthem, as you said, is so passionate for the Magpies. And there's a terrific build-up and a terrific scenario for the boat. And there's probably the greatest player that ever put on a black and white jumper. He was my coach for nearly all my career, Bobby Rose. All the old-timers say he was the greatest player ever that wore the black and white.
Yes, they say one of the best players ever not to win the Brownlow. He was second in a Brownlow. And, of course, he coached Collingwood the year they were beaten by a point by the 6-6 grand final. Something new for us. Advertising over the top of the crowd in the outer. Peter Carey, I reckon his heart would be bumping. So he's been around, tossing the ball into the ground for years, but this is a big occasion.
I spoke to him before, Drew, and he is really, really pumped up. And he admitted to me he was a Collingwood supporter. So we look at the bell ringer.
Well, that's something from the past as we get underway with the ringing of a bell. Peter Carey gets us underway, Keating up high for Brisbane, and he gets the visitors going forward. Oh, high tackle, and Luke Power will take the free. Chris Siska hit him pretty hard round the neck. Power takes the free kick quickly, inside the 50. Lynch, the ball skimmed on wet ground. Lynch close to the line, and taken over the line in an aggressive tackle by Preston Giacomo.
Already some interesting matchups. Andrew Swarble's got the job on Jaron Malloy at full back. Lynch has been picked up by Presta Giacomo, and Johnson, who's been a dangerous player for the Lions over the last couple of weeks. Scott Burns has got that job.
Well, there's Batheris at half back, gets it to Lucuria. Around the boundary line it comes, and Lappin takes it over, but it's just outside 50 for Brisbane. They'll be pumped up too. And we've got the Collingwood bench, Aussie.
Yes, Orchard, Davis, Crow and Scotland.
Thank you, Richard. There's the ball kicked by Mark Richardson. Akamanis, centre of the ground. He's a very clever player. He's got it. Akamanis on the left. In towards half forward. Lucuria waits at the back. Lynch tries to thump it on. He just missed it. It's at half back. It's kicked away, and that was by Tyson Lane. He's kicked it straight in the hands of Chris Johnson. And Johnson's outside 50. He's about 60 metres out. He's going to bomb it long. He's gone for the torpedo punt. He's got onto it. Lynch at the back, but Mark Richardson flicks it over the back, over the line, a metre away from the behind post. And Richard Osborne is down there with the Brisbane bench.
Brad Scott, Clark, Lambert and Sean Hart and Macca. You can tell already the Collingwood boys are pumped. They've got nothing else to play for except 4 quarters of football. They're going for it.
Here's a chance for Power. They go off the ground. Either Power or McRae got the goal.
Yeah,
First goal.
McRae was the player that actually kicked the footy off the ground, Drew. And that's all you got to do in wet conditions. Play a straight bat early, get the ball forward. Doesn't matter how, whether it be by hand or be foot by foot. But on this occasion, good ruck work there by Keating. He got first purchase of the footy. Buckley desperate in his attempt to nullify Power, win possession. But McRae was there. Weighted numbers favoured the Brisbane Lions on that occasion. And he dribbled the ball across the goal line to kick the first for the game, the first for the Brisbane Lions.
Well, Craig McRae is their leading goal kicker for the season. That's his 37th. They're the highest scoring team in the competition, and their leading goal kicker has just 37. They do spread it around. Keating in the middle, gets the ball down. Hard for Lappin, gets the ball back to Keating. A bit of a fumble. Eventually Akamanis out of the middle. His kick bounces on. Johnson taps for Voss. Voss off the right, a wobbly old kick. Malloy is there, under pressure. Schwabel gets back to Buckley, covering ground outside the 50 with his kick. Oh, he had to wait, and Voss came late, but Olorenshaw took the mark on the defensive 50 for the Pies. Breeze going Brisbane's way, but mostly across the ground, and a light drizzle coming from across the city. We've had a lot of rain in Melbourne over the last couple of days, and it's pretty wet underfoot. Ricky Olorenshaw. Few games this year for Collingwood in his first year after a premiership with Essendon. Ball underfoot. The Lions doing most of the attacking. Comes out to Huskis. He pokes it up short. Beautiful delivery. And Michael Voss has it 45 metres from goal.
Yeah, what a terrific player Voss is. He just knows when to push forward. He started in the midfield part of the ground. Batheris looks like he's being his opponent for the day at this stage. Also some other interesting matchups. We see Tarkin Lockie has got the job on Ashcroft. Interesting to see Power started across half forward. Looks like they're going to use Buckley across half back. He'll try to overplay that situation as much as possible.
Oh, Voss miskicks it. It drops 10 metres short, front of the pack. McRae gets his second. Wonderful goal.
Great start to Brisbane. A terrific start. As we see Keating, there's Lockyer, was caught. The Collingwood crowd calling for too high, but the umpire having none of that. It really is a good start. 2 goals to Craig McRae. Very, very slight breeze. There's Tony Shaw. We heard his speech before the game. Very, very passionate. Black gets it to Lappin. Danger again. Lynch He's got some support down there. Malloy with high. And Malloy again. Malloy! He's hit the post. Oh, gee, Mick. Brisbane already looking very, very dangerous.
Yeah, and terrific start. Just the start they need. They've got to try to curb the influence of the crowd. As I know, and you know, Pete, Collingwood supporters, they tend to get very vocal. But to stop them get involved in the game is to kick some early goals, and that's what the Lions have certainly done.
Oh, it's hard to get footing as Lane kicks out. Richardson palms the ball down. Buckley in front of the pack, leaves it for Crow. The hand pass comes out wide to Krasiska, up towards centre wing, hitting the ball hard, Lawrence, beautiful disposal, and Craig McRae, has he been damaging early with the only 2 goals of the game. Deep inside 50, Malloy, caught in a good tackle. Ball spills to Krasiska. Buck trying to get it out. Collingwood desperate. They've been defending since the bell rang to start the game. Knocked up by Keating. Black in over the ball, and the umpire calls for it and will ball it up.
And Drew, from that passage of play, you can already see it's not going to be the first player at the contest that'll win possession. They'll be fumbling, very slippery ball, hard to pick up, so that's got to motivate the players to push to the contest and create numbers there to favour your team.
Keating, a lovely hit out, but it went straight to Buckley. Still Keating knocking on. Brisbane with numbers round the ball. Notting gets it to Ashcroft, but they've got numbers all right. This is Black onto the left foot, centres the ball. Lynch, he waits in the goal square, and he judged that magnificently and hit him right in the chest. But that was just great judgment.
Yeah, no doubt about that, Pete. You called it right. Young Black, what a terrific season he's had. Probably should have kicked the ball a little bit better. Bad judgment there by Preston Giacomo. Superior judgment by Lynch. But already they're ominous signs, because the Brisbane Lions are pushing hard to the contest, certainly getting more numbers at the fall of the footy than what the Collingwood team is. They are under pressure.
So Alistair Lynch from directly in front for Brisbane's third. It hasn't been up Collingwood's forward end as yet. And Lynch pops it through.
Back in the middle, and Collingwood trying to get it forward of the centre for the first time. Keating wins in the middle. Krasiska's back there. Veteran from the premiership side. Olarenshaws hand pass. Very disappointing. Goes astray. Nodding up to full forward. Lynch juggles. Hit the ball very hard, Alistair Lynch. Oh, it's flipped out. Lappin. Slight fumble at ground level. Black goes backwards. Oh, Brisbane out here. Ashcroft. Great evasive skills. Johnson shepherds. The ball bounces for a behind.
Yeah, and there's that backwards handball, Drew. Wet footy, under pressure, you can't afford to think defend. And by that I mean, by handballing it backwards, if it misses the target, the weighted numbers from the opposition, they control the footy. On that occasion, a turnover was created and nearly a goal scored through Ashcroft.
Lockyer has kicked into Buckley. Buckley's kicked wide. Mark Richardson has marked. He's way out at half-back. The Collingwood faithful roaring for it to get forward. He's kicked it to a pack. Darryl White. Oh, geez, got good hands. He is probably the cleanest mark going around. They've got men running everywhere. Lepich has run from full-back down the forward line, but White's gone across to Huskus. He can go to Chris Scott. He can go across to Kennedy. Will he? Yes. No, he's not. He's looking for Notting. Notting, 6 goals last week. Gee, they're looking good, Brisbane. Notting is marked. Way out on centre wing. He kicks long in towards half forward. Keating was bundled out of it. Mark taken by Scotty Burns.
Burns kicks out wide. He's looking for the boundary line more than anything. He's got Lane as the only hope. Lappin beats him and keeps it in. Lappin's kick inside the 50. Lynch. Oh, great spoil, Prestigiacomo, and the ball out of play.
And get back to that marking contest just with Scott Burns. Terrific work there by Mark Richardson off the footy. You got Keating, his opponent, out of the marking contest. Burns took an easy mark. Unbelievable statistics. Inside 50, 10 Brisbane Lions. Collingwood yet to enter that part of the ground.
That could have said inside a half rather than 50. I'm sure Collingwood haven't advanced forward of the centre circle. 20-0. And haven't Brisbane started well. Mind you, they've been flogging great sides for the last couple of months. They've won their last 7. They beat the West Coast by 100. Beat Freo by 74. The ball worked towards the line and in the back. Power will take the free kick for Brisbane.
Yeah, free kick there to Luke Power. Yeah, sloppy work there by Tarkin Lockyer, who was second to the footy. But you've got to control yourself in giving away an undisciplined free kick like that. Could prove costly.
Only 35 metres out, but it's left and stays left all the way. And a behind to Luke Powell.
And some interesting matchups in Collingwood's forward 50-metre area. Looks like Darryl White's got the job on Mal Michael. Chris Scott's got the job on Gavin Brown, who's been very good for Collingwood this year. Leppich is picking up Tarrant now. He did start on A. Rocker. And Anthony Rocker's from the goal square. He's been matched up by Matthew Kennedy.
Yeah, a lot of pressure on these young Collingwood players. Brisbane are a top side. Been a lot of hype and promotion of this game. Shawball, he couldn't mark. Neither could Richardson. It's at half forward, way out at half forward for Brisbane. A terrific start. 21 plays nil, but inside 50s, 10 or 11 to nil. And they're just proving what a good side they are. One of the premiership favourites. Keating has been terrific in recent weeks. There's Lappin. Everywhere you look in this Brisbane side, they've got enormous talent. There's Stephen Lawrence. I played against his father, Barry. Barry will be up on the Gold Coast. One of the best players I've played against and one of the toughest. And his son's a chip off the old block. He's got plenty of that in him too.
Oh, there's no doubt about that. Lawrence does certainly run straight, Pete. But now Buckley's moved back into the midfield. He's picking up Ashcroft. Ashcroft started the game on Lockyer. It's been a straight swap. Lockyer's gone back to half-back, picking up Luke Powell.
Interesting free kick against Mark Richardson there.
Keating has been a great player.
He just gives him first access to the footy, Pete. Jumps hard into the contest, especially the ruck contest. Gets the ball forward.
Darryl White with plenty of distance. Up very high. Prestigiacomo to the front. Voss gets it across to Power. He spirals it up to Malloy. Gets rid of his opponent illegally. Collingwood free kick. Taken quickly. They work it out of defence. Have they been defending the Pies? It comes to Tyson Lane, just outside 50. Good chase by Johnson. Great discipline by the Lions. Buckley cornered by Ashcroft. And they've gone forward to the wing for the first time. Drop mark by Brisbane. The ball at ground level. Tarrant works well. Tackling by Scott. Fantastic stuff. Vatheris the hand pass back. And Williams turned it over. It comes to White. Spirals it inside the 50. And Brisbane back to where they've been so often in this game. Shawball looks for the line, but kicked it too hard.
Yeah, free kick actually coming back to Schwabel, though. It's been given for in the back against Malloy. And Andrew Schwabel's got to realise, wet footy, you can't afford to give the ball too much height when you're under pressure like that. You're better off getting the ball on the ground, skidding across the boundary line. Just play the percentages a little bit better.
Yeah, dead right, Mickey. Should have been going low. Oh, poor kick. Terrible kick, Shawball.
And that's his problem. Kicks off one step too often. He should be told, and that should be addressed, because that is a downside of his game. Over the last 3 weeks, he's been a little bit better in basically defending, but his use of the ball coming out of the defence just isn't good enough at times. And have a look at this.
Unfortunately,
one step, leaning back, wet footy, low percentage. It'll never find targets.
Yeah, poor kick, and it's gone straight to a guy who's got terrific skills. Lappin, Nigel Lappin. He might make Collingwood pay here. That's a beautiful kick at goal. It's just drifted away and missed to the left.
Pete, you look at those trees just behind the goals there to our left. It certainly is a right to left breeze. A couple of kicks have gone to the left-hand post. You just certainly have to allow to that pocket, don't you?
Well, when I look at those trees, I'm amazed there's no one up there, Mickey.
There might be a few monkeys.
No, he's in the. He played in the reserves yesterday.
Oh, golly. Lakiria's taken too long to kick it in, and it's been taken off him.
Gee, that's gutsy umpiring by Peter Carey, isn't it?
Yeah, well, Peter's last game, or last season, no doubt he's trying to make his point on the game. Have a listen to the Collingwood supporters.
Well, he must have warned him.
And they will get agitated unless Collingwood get an early score.
Get an armoured car for the umpires as they leave the ground. Ola Renshaw, Prestigiacomo dropped it, but Brisbane putting pressure on all over the place. Shawball, a hurried kick, gets it to the 50, but hasn't got it far enough out. Notting unloads a big one, and goals!
Well, a great start to Brisbane, and just what Collingwood didn't want. Brisbane playing superb football, 4-4. They should be a lot further in front. There's Keating getting first hands again. There's Lappin, the Voss, a bit of talent there. Lappin and Voss. Half forward is punched away from Notting. Here's Tarkin Lockyer. Buckley to half forward. Lawrence races back, puts some pressure on and goes for the punch. It's on centre wing. Lockyer again. Here's Stephen Lawrence, back to Ackermanis. Gee, there's some talent in this side. A great kick in towards Black. Black onto the right foot, brings it in towards full forward. He's looking for Lynch. Lynch couldn't mark. Burns. Back it comes to Shawball. Shawball, who can he find? He can find Olorenshaw, and he finds him at half-back.
Gee, the patrons in the Sherrin stand and the Bob Rose stand have hardly seen any action. Here's Gavin Brown, pushed in the back. The former captain, who has been fantastic this year. Veteran status now, of course. Buckley high. Can't quite complete the one-hander. At ground level, Buckley applies the tackle. Ball stays in. Umpire will ball it up.
And it's still been 13 entries into their forward 50. Collingwood are yet to break the ice. That would be concerning coach Tony Shaw.
So from the ball up, it comes to Williams. He balks the hand pass. He probably should have given it. Eventually he does. Batheris, too high for Patterson. They're on the 50 for the first time, Collingwood. Tarrant does well. Concedes some ground. Back to Rupert Batheris. Hurried kick for Brown. It bounces through. Anthony Rocker with absolute ferocity. Rocker bounces it through, but it was touched off the line by Kennedy. No goal. A minor score for Collingwood. They've got a point, but it's taken them a long time getting it.
And at least one thing, Drew, it's got the crowd involved. You can just tell for the majority of these Collingwood players, except the ones that were in the 1990 Premiership, this would be the biggest occasion of their football career. There's obvious nerves out there, but they just need to kick a goal and they'll settle.
Justin Leppich kicks in. He's probably the best fullback in the competition this year. Simon Black ridden into the ground. Umpire said no. Half forward, it is with Krasiska. Here's Paul Williams. He's surrounded by Brisbane Lions players. Schuster's calling for a free kick, and he's against Williams holding the ball.
Yeah, Paul Williams gathered the footy in underneath him. That's the reason why the free kick was given. Watch his right arm, tuck it back underneath him. There's the prior opportunity, if you'd call it that. Hard decision. Difficult day for players to pick up the ball at ground level and get it clear.
Matthew Kennedy, a long kick. Centre wing. It's given off to Burns. Burns, a hurry kick to centre wing. It was a wobbly one. Buckley working hard. Chris Scott's after him and is forced over the line.
Yeah, Collingwood certainly have to do something in their structure, I believe. Maybe it's time for Scott Burns or maybe Gavin Brown just for 5 minutes to push to midfield. Just some hardness. Because at the moment, it's the Brisbane team were a little bit harder, picking up too much of the loose footy at ground level.
Round the boundary line, Brisbane back to centre wing. Olorenshaw can't keep it in. And we'll have a throw in the outer side.
I think that's a pertinent point, Drew, because at the moment, Brisbane Lions, Voss, Simon Black, Ashcroft, they're just getting too much clearances around these stoppages. Collingwood needs some more body players because the ball's going to be on the deck a fair amount of the time. There's another example.
Krasiska tried to go off the ground. He's bowled over. And it's a Brisbane free kick, is it?
No, going to Gavin Krasiska in the back off the footy.
Just as well. The way the crowd hooted, I thought, don't tell me it's gone against him. Krasiska up towards the 50. Tarrant, good boy. He's a long way out. This would need to be a career best kick. So he puts it up short. Rocker! Points for coming Anthony!
Yeah, now he has to go back, steal his mind. He was involved in a good contest before that kept the footy in the Collingwood forward 50 area. Look at that for a jump and leap and mark. Good stuff by Anthony Rocker. Now you've got to do what forwards are capable of doing. Go back, kick a goal. Last week he had a shocker. Half kicked it on a couple of occasions. Probably cost Collingwood a chance of winning that game. He'd be aware of the situation. He'd know the ground well. Kick it low, kick it flat, underneath the grandstand. More importantly, you just got to kick the ball with a fair amount of penetration into the wind.
His shot is Collingwood's first goal. Brilliant kick by Rocker.
Yeah, well, they certainly needed that, did Collingwood, to get them back into this contest, now trailing by 21 points. Good work there by Tarrant. He led early. Good kick there by Krasiska to find him. Got back from the mark quickly. That was the key. Assessed his options, nothing on immediately. But then Rocker led. Terrific jumping mark over Ackermanis. But an understatement to say they needed that goal. Their first for the game.
Well, things were looking very, very gloomy, but Anthony Rocker has lifted the Collingwood crowd, and that will help. Here's Lappin, a very highly skilled player. Voss caught it, was caught high. In towards half forward, punched away by Lane. Brisbane have the numbers. Here's Power. He kept it in brilliantly to Ashcroft. Umpire saying it was scooped.
Brian
It was
Shams
thrown.
that way.
He must have paid the throw.
He called it a scoop back.
Oh, a bit stiff. Lockyer. Buckley. And Buckley takes a good mark. Centre wing. What they need now, the Magpies, another quick one. A low trajectory kick. Tarrant. Couldn't mark. Shawball. It's a free kick.
Hello, the Collingwood Social Club.
Oh.
People jumping out of seats, pointing to the umpire. That is a very game umpire to give a decision like that in front of that crowd, as you know, Paul.
Oh, they're baying for blood down there, Mickey. That Collingwood Social Club.
Pretty soft free kick.
Yeah, it was. Chris Scott, Keating, he impresses me a lot, this guy. And when he gets tired, they can bring Matthew Clark on. So they're very, very well off in the big man department. That's a good kick. That's a terrific kick by Keating out in front. And Licuria had no hope of stopping Notting. Notting's going to kick to Lynch, who's one-on-one. Lynch front position. Lynch! Oh, that is great forward play. That is top forward play. In front and use your body.
Yeah, very good point, Pete. Remember Alistair Lynch playing for Fitzroy. Collingwood played at Princes Park in those days, now Optus Oval. Lynch kicked 7 goals. Similar conditions today. Plays in front, played the percentages. Ronnie McEwen was his opponent that day. He had to readjust, play in front of Lynch. Maybe Prestigiacomo has to learn from that lesson also.
For goal number 5, oh, he's judged the wind of perfection. That's right through the middle.
That's that right to left wind we spoke about, Pete. Players, good players, sum up the situation quickly. Lynch did that on that occasion, but terrific ball use once again. There's the strength in front. Prestigiacomo trying to find a front position, but the bulk and the strength and the composure in the contest by Lynch, that stood to the fore on that occasion. Good technique. Right-hand goal post, give it a bit of air, the footy will naturally come back, and that is great conversion from an experienced player playing his 201st game. Really?
Ball back in the centre. 5 goals to 1. Richardson wins in the middle, but Voss takes it away for Brisbane. Krasiska to Buckley. Good running by Burns. Kick by Burns to centre half forward. Lippage! Lord Tarrant over the top. That comes to the front. Good hand pass by Freeborn. Comes back to Patterson. Rocker contests. It flips out to Williams. He's a chance. 35 out. Paul Williams. Didn't have the legs on it. And marked by Kennedy in the goal square. Just under 4 minutes remaining to quarter time. Aussie, how much of it is the scoring end at the left-hand end?
I think, Drew, we saw from that last kick from Paul Williams how strong this breeze really is. It's at least a 3-goal breeze going to the end of Brisbane Lions are kicking.
Ashcroft. Back it comes to Black. Centre of the ground. It's a loose ball with Johnson. But it was loose for about a split second, and then the Hordes came in and caught him as Paul Licuria. But that Collingwood defence is under enormous pressure as Brisbane, with their superior skill, belted forward. The umpire signalling he's going to throw it. Look at Keating. He's dominating the rucks, Keating. Look at that. That was terrific play. Centre of the ground, Ashcroft has had a very, very good year. Here's McRae. He's kicked 2 goals. Johnson, he runs away. Lynch is one out again with Prestigiacomo. Here's Lynch. He's got it. He'll look for the short one. He's going to hook it back in front of goal. Johnson. Malloy. He drops it. Still Malloy. Still Malloy. Still Malloy. Look at this. Is one of the best goals you would ever see in a million years.
No doubt about that. Absolute courage personified. The footy was in the air a long time, Pete. Great call.
He was the one to get caught, me.
He was the one that charged from the goal square. He committed himself alongside Krasiska for Collingwood. Both players collected each other fairly solid. But what's the recovery for a big man? Ball, balanced, magnificent stuff. Paul Williams missed the body, should have went to tackle low at the hips of his opponent, Malloy. He sidestepped him, waltzed into an open goal. No doubt this is a promising team.
And has Gavin Krasiska felt that? Oh, he was cleaned up by a Mack truck. Richardson out of the middle to Williams, off the side of the boot, wide out in front of the Social Club stand. Here's Lepich in front, working along the line, but then overruns it. Tarrant. Good persistence. Michael. Play on, says the umpire. The Collingwood fans want a free. Darryl White was good. hand pass in. Black, just outside 50, Johnson. And the hand pass back to Lane. Now to Buckley. Half distance pass to Williams. Paul Williams off and running. Gets around Leppich.
Good kick.
Oh, great kick. Ola Renshaw outside of centre half forward. 2 kicks to goal from there into this breeze. Ricky Ola Renshaw. Now deep inside the 50. It gets to the back. Rocker just 30 metres out. Now 40 out. The hand pass back. Here's a chance for Batheris. Offline, and it is holding up. No doubt. Kennedy a mark.
Kennedy, a long kick, a great kick. Their skill level, Brisbane is very, very good. Power. Oh, dangerous kick. Buckley could have marked. He went the punch instead. Maybe should have marked. Leppich on to Lawrence. The kick was poor, but the umpires paid the mark. It's been taken by Johnson. Everywhere you look in this Brisbane side, there's enormous talent. Williams pushing the back. Oh, he's lucky to get away with that, Paul Williams.
Yeah, a little bit of a touch it looked like, but Paul Williams kept his composure. He's one player that really have to get into this game. Already he's had 3 kicks.
Michael, what a mark. Under extreme pressure from Chris Scott. Michael wants to play on, but he's over the mark. And the fans are chucking their black and white scarves. And Michael now made to come back behind the mark. And that's held up the side as he wanted to make a quick break. Recruited into AFL football from Papua New Guinea.
Short kick maybe to Gavin Brown.
Michael goes for a bit of distance. It is holding up going to that end. Rocker crunches the pack. It comes out to Schauble, who's been moved forward. The ball out of play right in front of the social club stand. And the crowd getting their money's worth. It's an all-ticket affair, but they're hooting and booing.
And Gavin Krasiska's just been removed from the ground, no doubt feeling the ill effects of that contest with Malloy, but he is tough. He'll come back on. Scott Crowe gets his first run for the day.
Yeah, Mick, it looked like he was holding his left hamstring too, so I'll keep you up to date with that.
Well on, Aussie.
Well, let's hope it's not a hamstring, because that would be a sad way to win the year for Gavin Krasiska.
Well, he's had a history of lower back problem. There he is pointing probably to where the contest was. But let's hope it's not a hamstring.
Well, they're a rotten injury too. You never know when you got them right. You think you can come back on, and well, they're normally a couple of weeks' job for sure. But it's the last game for this year for Gavin.
Backward handball again, Pete. Created the turnover.
Lappin. Mark Richardson is marked. Centre wing. He wants to play on quickly. He's going short. Oh, he set it up. But a mark taken by Schauble. Here's Lane. He ran into a brick wall. They've got numbers here, Brisbane. Oh, look at this, loose men everywhere. Johnson will receive from Eustace. He can have a shot for goal, or he can go over. Siren and gone. That was bad luck to Brisbane. They had loose men everywhere running towards goal. But Mick McGuire, a brilliant quarter by Brisbane. That's all you could say.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. Magnificent quarter to lead by 33 points against the emotion, against Collingwood's efforts to make their last game at Victoria Park a memorable one. The credit must be given to this Brisbane Lions team. They certainly attacked the body. They got numbers at the contest, knowing that today you have to play the percentages, keep it simple. And I think that's one thing they certainly did in that first quarter. They certainly controlled the ball more than what the Collingwood team did. 55 kicks, only 15 handballs. They didn't want to handle the footy so much, didn't want to create mistakes, whereas Collingwood on the other hand, merely because they were under pressure, 42 kicks, 31 handballs. No doubt Tony Schauble addressed that in his quarter-time address.
Interesting to see at half-time whether Collingwood and the Breeze bring them back. Quarter-time in our other 2 games being played today. 2 finalists, the Western Bulldogs and Port Adelaide. The Dogs 2-2, Port 3 behinds. And top Essendon playing 14th Melbourne. And look at the Demons, 7-2 to 3-2 over Kevin Sheedy's mob. Richard Osborne.
Well, sure, he was very, very open with his quarter-time speech. He implored his players to settle down. Obviously, there's a lot of nerves there. He was absolutely savage on the way they were getting flogged out of the centre. There's no doubt he said, we need to settle this game down before half-time. We can't afford to blow it out anymore. It was long and direct, straight down the middle. The Breeze is very strong, so let's hope they can get back into it. The crowd are just waiting for it.
So we start the second quarter. Keating dominating in the ruck, gets the ball down to Ashcroft. His kick across the ground. It's to the defensive side. Lane whips it away from Johnson. and the ball to the safety of the boundary line.
Mick, that is where it's starting. Keating really did dominate, as Drew said, that first term.
And we mentioned in the first quarter also maybe Burns or Gavin Brown should go into that part of the ground. Burns is the player that's gone there to create a bit of hardness and win some footy when it's loose.
Keating again with his hand to it. Black at ground level, fighting hard for it. And a ball up. Right in front of the Social Club. By gee, they'll take the heat out of the after-match celebrations if they get absolutely belted here today. Aussie.
Yeah, the bench for Collingwood. Davis, Lockyer, Crow and Gavin Francisco, who tried to run at quarter time, and still looks a little bit problem.
Yeah, it's not looking good for Gavin. There's Burns, as Mickey McGuan said, has moved to midfield, so his toughness and Aussie, the Brisbane bench.
Brad Scott, Matthew Clark, Craig Lambert and Sean Hart.
Well, it's a pretty good bench when you think about it. If they get a couple of injuries, you can bring those blokes on. Now there's Batheris, a long driving kick. Scott couldn't hang on to it. Akamana's had a fantastic year. A little bit of Robert Harvey type stuff there. There's Keating. Oh, good mark. Richardson, short kick. Good kick. Oliver Renshaw breaks away. Kicks long to the forward line. Rocker! Used his body beautifully to get rid of Kennedy. Kennedy screaming at Peter Gary that he should have got a free kick, but what do you think, Mick?
No, certainly terrific body work there by Anthony Rocker, who alerted himself to the ball in flight. Good judgment, pushed his body against Kennedy's, opened up the space for him to take an easy chest mark.
Oh, Anthony Rocker playing at full forward, kicking for his second. These are the ones you've got to nail early in the game. Put a bit of scoreboard pressure on. Oh, he's out to the right. Don't tell me he's kicked out in the full. No, he's just snuck it in from behind. But he missed 2 last week from 15 metres where he hit the post. And quality forwards have to kick those.
Pete, just watching his technique, he really lifts the footy high as he brings it down to his leg. And because he does that, his back goes back. Just not his back on his foot on the kick so often.
I think during the summer he's got to really work on his kicking, as we see Oliver Renshaw in towards half forward. Chris Scott races back today. That is a very good defence now. They have Brisbane, a young defence and a very, very good one.
Well, it's frightening. They've got the best defence in the league and the best attack.
Yeah, they're just a complete unit. Work very well together.
Huskis, the back six has been pretty settled all year.
Change direction here to Scott, possibly.
Yes, and well coached. Look at Chris Scott coming up the ground. He's running off Gavin Brown. He's about 40 metres away from Brown. Scott up towards centre wing. He's kicked towards centre half forward to Keating. In front, McRae, who kicked 2 first quarter goals. It spills off. Richardson gives it straight back to Scott, and Brown still hadn't picked him up. The hand pass into Huskis on the bounce. Adam Huskis. Brought to the front for McRae. He's barreled. Was it high? Held. Umpire's balling it up.
That's good umpiring by Brian Sheehan. Very good umpiring.
Yeah, McRae, a couple of occasions today, he's got to that front of the pack. Look at that, hitting it hard. Probably had 3 steps to straighten his body up. A good tackle there by Crow, brought him to ground. All in all, good decision.
There must be about 16 or 18 players around that bounce now. Free kick, oh, he's a bit stiff there, Keating. They were both pushing and shoving, and Richardson has it. And I just feel that the 50-50 free kicks today may go the way of the Magpies, as we see Tyson Lane kicking wide. He was looking for Buckley, but it didn't hit him and over.
Hasn't that been happening for 107 years here?
Well, on this side, Drew, I'm fair to him, on this side of the ground, that's why when I played up at full forward at that end, I always led round the Social Club. You're guaranteed a free kick. The crowd...
You just led there because you knew the aftermatch was upstairs and all the pats on the back you were going to get.
There's Batheris. He's kicked it straight into Lappin, who's having a very good game. Lappin drives it in towards full forward. Lynch flies. It's a loose ball. Williams waits. He's caught by Lawrence. Oh, he got rid of it just at the last split second. Here's Buckley playing deep in defence. Great kick. Finds Crow. Crow was looking for Burns. Oh, terrific punch that was by Scott. To Power, to Lappin, all these young guys. Ashcroft, one of the more experienced players. Look at this, here's a man on his own at half forward. And it is a very, very dangerous goal kicker, Chris Johnson.
Yeah, he just gets behind opposition's defences so often, whether it's his laziness on the way up to chase or he just sits back and hopes for a turnover. But quite often you'll see Johnson be unopposed in his forward 50-metre area. Sometimes it's smart play. No doubt the Collingwood defence would have to certainly watch his ability to do that. the moment he's Tyson Lane's his opponent. Lane, of course, started the game on McRae, who kicked 2 of the opening goals.
Chris Johnson, yes, the scorer goal. He's kicking into the breeze. It's out to the right. Keating, Richardson, kick by McRae, was it? For his third. Oh, what a great goal.
Collingwood certainly didn't need the first goal of the second quarter to go to Brisbane. We're back in the middle, where Keating has been dominating, but this time Burns gets it out of the centre. It comes off wide. Beautiful spin by Scott. Back to midfield. Crow is there. Keating over the top of him.
He's a good player.
Is he ever? Well, Matthew Clark can't get a run at the moment because of his form.
Absolutely brilliant. And Keating's kick up towards half forward, but Scotland is back there to take the mark.
And that's where they're so flexible, because when Clark comes onto the ground, he's fresh, he can jump, wins a lot of the centre bounce clearances. Keating can push forward to be another marking target. If Malloy or Lynch aren't winning the ball, they can be removed from the ground.
Well, Keating's brother played in a premiership side for the Adelaide Crows in about his 8th senior game of football. It's something that Clark Keating can't boast at the moment, but he might be a bit of a show this year. Don't write off Brisbane for the whole thing.
Scotty Croft from Prize on Mark Orchard.
Ola Renshaw dodging and weaving around Malloy. No, he's not around Malloy. Good tackle, Molly. It comes out here. Huskis wants to turn into the centre corridor. That's disciplined team football. Inside 50, Lappin's there. Crunch to the floor, play on. It comes to the front, cleared by Orchard. And well done by Patterson.
Stephen Patterson, centre of the ground. On his own is Freeborn. He finds him. The leads are coming thick and fast. Gavin Brown, Kennedy. Brown has got it. And this will delight the Collingwood faithful because they love him. And he's very strong overhead, Mick.
Yeah, great marking player for his size. Look back on Gavin Brown's career. More importantly here at Victoria Park. Started his career as a wingman. He was basically a stopgap situation. He'd been playing centre forward, playing the centre, go to full forward. His courage has never been questioned. Terrific competitor, great captain.
Well, he needs 4 goals today to be the leading goal kicker for the season ahead of Sav Rocker.
Well, they need it. He'll kick it out to the right and let the wind do the rest. That's a beautiful kick. He knew the wind conditions. It's a goal.
Gavin Brown with that goal. That's his 31st for the year. Sav Rocker leads with 33. Of course, he's not out there, but it was great to see the whole list of Collingwood players line up for the anthem, even those not playing in the seniors today out there in their uniforms. It comes down. Ola Renshaw comes wide. Burns. There's a chance that Collingwood might get going here with the breeze second quarter. Patterson, not quite. Over the shoulder, free kick to Patterson. Advantage goes to Burns. He keeps it low but wide. Oh, what a waste. Out of bounds on the full. Just as Tarrant had made good position, albeit in the dead pocket.
Already I think the impact that Scott Burns has had on going to midfield is evident. He's had 3 kicks in this early part of the second quarter. Just gets a little bit of hardness into that part of the ground, which Collingwood certainly required.
Well, that is a very clever kick to Chris Scott. To centre wing, Keating in front, couldn't take the mark. Orchard did well. Lane could have been holding the man. Voss working hard. So is Black. Well played by Lappin. That was good play to Notting. Now the dangerous McRae. He's kicked 3 goals. Look at Notting. That was terrific play by a young fella. He kicks towards goal and he's got a point. But that was is he going to be a find?
I think that's the difference between the two teams at that stage, Pete. They got the ball forward, whether by a little kick off the ground, a handball forward. They didn't think back. It's just natural for all players to run forward into your part of the ground.
Malloy came in and made a real contest of that. Nearly took the mark. And the ball out of play for a throw-in. 47-14.
And Drew, you mentioned before the game, it was great to see the whole list of Collingwood players out on the ground. One player that was out there, which was fantastic to see, Brad Smith. We noticed last week got cleaned up terribly, but he's up and running. It was great to see him.
Yeah, really good. We were worried about him last week. Ball in the forward pocket here, and Brisbane looking menacing. And they're just hitting every contest really hard. Oh, great skill. Magnificent skill. Out of defence. Knocked on by Freeborn. It comes to Ashcroft. His kick wide, but marked by Black just inside the line.
Good umpiring by Brian Sheen to let that contest go. That was fantastic.
Crowd wanting a free, but the umpire not falling for it that time. Kick by Black. A lot of players here. Wet part of the ground. Comes to the front to Power. Bit of a fumble. Cleared by Williams. Another contest between these two. Lawrence and Freeborn comes to the front. Olorenshaw gets it to Burns, and the kick by Burns gains 40 metres. She's out of bounds up at centre wing.
Yes, and two, as you called it, Drew, two fantastic contests a moment ago by Freeborn and Stephen Lawrence, two real goers, and they fought hard, but the umpire let it go and didn't pick out a ticky touch with free kick, which was terrific. Here's Olorenshaw getting plenty of the ball at the moment. He goes inside, they're looking for Laney, just a little fumble. Buckley calling for a hand pass. Orchard has lost it to Black. Black, now Buckley, it's amazing how the ball goes with good players. Mark Richardson, Tarrant, used his body pretty well, the young fellow. Oh, Eustace nearly dived on it. Lucky for him, it went loose. Chris Scott, they're trying to hook it out. Oh, look at this. Eustace, geez, been a terrific acquisition. Has he been a good acquisition to this side across half-back, Mick?
Yeah, he certainly has. Already today, he's had 7 kicks. Hasn't been loose across half-back as much as what he'd like, possibly. But he's been matched up fairly closely. He's got the job on Stephen Patterson. Oh, actually, sorry, Mel Michael in this, the second quarter.
So far, all Brisbane. They've never won here at Victoria Park. They've lost all 5 meetings with Collingwood here. Burns over the top with a big leap. Brown with desperation that's characterised his football over 13 or so years. But Theros follows up and takes Voss over the line, and the umpire will throw it in.
Olenshaw's been quite a good player for Collingwood today. He's had 14 possessions on centre wing. Darryl White's now gone to centre wing for the Brisbane Lions to match him up.
Again, the ball underfoot. Now it's going to be a free kick here to Brisbane. Umpire Carey playing the free kick back towards the back pocket. Coming up limping is Black. He'll take it by hand, Simon Black.
He's had a great year, Black. Huskus, he can chip it across here if he wants. Always coming up the middle. Akamanis, now he can transfer it out wide. Gee, they're good at this, Brisbane.
And White's
now he can go, yep, he can go to White in the centre, he should. Yes, he will. White's on his own. This is danger for Collingwood. Buckley didn't come at him, he should have. Brings it in towards Lynch. Oh, Lynch was caught very, very high in the danger area. Brisbane trying to get an Orchard. To Schauble. To Williams. With Buckley calling for it. He chips it across. He's got 3 players to give it to. One of them was Burns. Burns goes 10 metres backwards. This is Scotland. Scotland goes short. And he finds Buckley. Now Buckley's going on the turn. Kicks it long. Patterson and Lawrence. Patterson can't mark. He went to ground. You can't afford that. Lawrence off the ground. And over the line. It's not Lawrence. It's Power, I should say. They look very alike. And there's a little Magpie supporter in front row seats.
Yeah, good transfer of play there by Collingwood. Williams tried to get the ball back into the centre corridor. That's the right thing to do. Good switch. Allowed some run from behind for Collingwood. Just unfortunate Patterson couldn't take that mark from the Buckley kick.
Kick by Chris Scott back up towards midfield. Lane dodges and weaves, gets it away. Kick under pressure, hasn't gone any distance. Buckley, that's no mark. Now the ball's held to him. And the umpire will throw it in the air, I'd say, out there. Blustery breeze across the ground. Craig Lambert preparing to come on for the Lions. What a classy bench.
And these conditions would certainly suit Lambert in and under. That's the type of player he is.
Best bench in the league. Comes to Voss. Over centre wing with his kick. Now, they've always got crummers at the front. McRae's kicked 3 goals. He's been phenomenal. It skims and bounces. Lynch. He threw it away. He's holding the ball. Good decision, umpire. Helped by 25,000 Collingwood fans.
Yeah, I think he was trying to claim that he handballed that. Lynch, oh, look how Presti. He was almost caught. Olorenshaw kicks to a contest. Mel Michael, centre wing. He's got Eustace after him. Knocked it away. Good umpiring again. Very good Brian Sheen. No free kick there. It'll be a throw-in on centre wing where Keating will take on Mark Richardson.
And smart tackle there by Eustace.
And Simon Black limping off the Brisbane Lions. Doesn't look too good at all. Craig Lambert on for his first run.
Well, that's, as we said, that's a terrific interchange. Bad luck. I hope, for Brisbane's sake, Black's not too badly hurt. Look at Lambert. Took him 2 seconds to get a kick. Oh, good mark, Notting. Terrific mark, a finger tipper. Oh, Clark going back on his own here. He can chip it to him, but he's electing to kick long. In front of the Collingwood Social Club. Shawville races back, was grabbed by the arm. Now, it wasn't out on the full. It'll be a throw-in right in front. And there's Simon Black. Oh, let's hope that's not a groin injury with the finals coming up.
Yeah, here's this mark of Notting. Terrific mark. Quite easy to fumble those balls when your momentum, your body's going towards the ground. But good composure there by Notting.
Geez, he hot at the moment, Notting. 6 goals last week. Bethera's hand pass back to Buckley. What a kick by Nathan Buckley to Heath Scotland. He's taken on power, but he's gone. He stumbled right into him. Probably lucky not to be pinged. Patterson goes off the ground. It goes to Lynch. His hand pass away. Lappin. Just Brisbane Lion players everywhere. Their skills are fantastic. They've won games this year in the wet, so they know how to play it. But their skills and their team plan is just perfect. And Chris Johnson gets on the end of the kick.
And that's what you call inexperience, Drew. Slippery conditions under your feet. Once you're running in a straight line, you've got to keep going straight. Very difficult. The technique of the tackler in today's game is very good. Slippery conditions, trying to duck and weave and balk, creates mistakes.
Johnson from 40 metres out. Well, he has made the distance across the face of goal. Malloy.
Well, that's twice Johnson has kicked poorly from there.
Yeah, well, this is tricky because in that part of the ground, as you know, Pete, the shelter is a little bit lower from the that outer grandstand.
Centres the ball. He's given it up. Patterson's taken the mark. And Collingwood up and running. That could be an expensive turnover.
Yes, it could be, as we see Williams on centre wing trying to race away. There's a bit of pace there. Ackermanis and Williams. Rocker. Terrific pick-up by Anthony Rocker. Williams was there with Michael. Michael dodging and weaving. They need a couple of quick goals. They've got a chance. Oh, free kick to Brisbane. It should have been. He was held by the jumper, Chris Scott.
Good work, Burns.
Peter Carey let that one go. Oh, the heads go down. Lepich heads for the boundary line. Stephen Lawrence takes it over. And it'll be a throw-in just inside 50. I really felt it should have been a Brisbane kick down there then.
Sean Hart's also on the ground for the Brisbane Lions. He's gone to half forward. Scotland's picking him up.
Lepich over the top, but it comes down to Burns. Lepich applies the tackle. Freeborn off the ground. Ackermanis dispossessed. Tarrant the hand pass. And Olorenshaw centres the ball. Rocker spoiled by Kennedy. And Kennedy kept his feet as Rocker went to ground. Great play, Matty Kennedy. To Lambert. Lambert off the left to half forward. Voss well placed. Well done, Betheris. Front of the pack, Johnson. Crash! Down he goes. Play on, says the umpire. Good contest, that. Collingwood have it. Out towards centre wing. Huskis gives chase. Betheris shepherded off well. Clearing a path for Huskis. Oh! Into the back of Johnson, back to Huskis. That's unbelievable how they combine then. White comes back. Ashcroft pops it up high. Lynch charges and marks again.
Yeah, this is a pretty ordinary display from Collingwood. They're just not panning up. And you've got to man up against good opposition teams. Too many players are unaccountable. Look at that. The space 20 metres directly in front of goal when players are flooding a back line should never happen. Having Lynch to lead into that space and contest the footy as easily as that, Tony Shaw would be livid, and rightfully so.
Lynch for his third. Well, he started it way left. Well, it's not a tornado blowing. He didn't have to allow that much. That's out on the full.
I think that's had a lot to do with his footing, Mick.
Yep. Very slippery conditions directly in front of goal, but it'll be interesting to see whether Anthony Rocker should be the player that goes into the ruck to give him some sort of impetus. He can do it for a 5-minute period. Maybe Mark Richardson go deep, be the marking player across the full forward line. Gavin Brown to come up the ground, be isolated against his opponent, Scott.
Heath Scotland. Oh, look at Keating. Is he playing with some confidence? Looking for Voss. He finds him. Voss hooks it back. Oh, they're a good side, this mob. And the mark has been taken by Sean Hart, who is on the wrong side of the ground for a left footer. But I guarantee he'll get a lot closer than Chris Johnson did in his 2 shots at goal.
Free kick off the footy to Olrenshaw. directly out in front of goal against Darryl White. There was some holding. As Freeborn comes from the ground, Scott Crowe comes back on. He'll probably go to the forward part of the ground, play as a forward pocket type, crumbing player for Collingwood.
Well, coaches, or particularly Lee Matthews, would absolutely hate that when someone's having a shot for goal. Ricky Renshaw looks for Buckley. Buckley's way out at half back, closer to the back pocket area. He'll almost reach the centre wing. Preston Giacomo and Lynch. Lynch got front position as he so often does. Richardson shuffled back. Preston Giacomo. Voss races after Batheris, but he gets his kick in. A fly at the back. Lepic went past the ball. Tarrant, free kick. Tarrant holding the man. 50 metres. Could be 50. The ball was kicked away after the decision was made, so this will be a goal to the Magpies to Tarrant.
Yeah, I thought the free kick was no doubt there, but I don't know about the 50-metre penalty, Pete. The ball spilled out very quickly to Ackermanis. As we see here, holding was there. Now the umpire just would have bounced, blew the whistle about now. There he is on the top of the screen. We couldn't really see it. But I thought it was a pretty quick decision.
I think Ackermanis just heard it as he was about to kick and half-kicked it.
Yeah, well...
He didn't know what to do.
Yeah, well, that's possibly the case.
Look at that Collingwood crowd now. That's what the opposition...
loser,
they're saying. Yeah, that's what they're saying as Tarrant puts it through for a goal.
So the Brisbane forwards really, backs really getting a full mouthful from the Collingwood fans. Back in the centre. Palm down to Buckley. Well done by Richardson. To half forward, Ackermanis in front. The ball past him. Tarrant, good spin. Another goal here would be handy for the Pies. Michael!
Here's the class of the future for Collingwood. Michael looked good across the full forward line last week. Caused a few concerns for Byron Pickett against the Kangaroos. That was terrific work there by Tarrant. Good clearance there by Collingwood. Buckley didn't finesse, got the footy forward. Williams across half forward, worked hard to get the ball in his area. Tarrant mopped up and kicked beautifully towards the lead of Michael.
40 metres, the breeze hard across him, and it goes left. We've seen a lot of kicks go left at that end of the ground, are behind only when they really needed a goal. They still trail by 26.
And Drew, just on Simon Black for the Brisbane Lions, the physio and the doctor had a good look at him. It's definitely his left groin. They've taken him into the rooms. It looks very sore, and I very much doubt we'll see him again today.
Well, that's rotten luck, Aussie, because Simon Black's had a fantastic year, and G. Leverage is giving the supporters behind the fence as much as he's copying. He's making faces at him. Well, good on you, Justin. At least you've got a sense of humour, and he can afford to because he's a great player. He's rocker.
Sense of humour or great courage.
Well, the best comeback of all is have a look at the scoreboard.
I suppose.
Lepic, he's had a magnificent... He'd be the best fullback in the competition at the moment.
Yeah, he's
got the last say.
Aussie, what's it like down at ground level, just the emotion from the supporters?
Well, they just need to kick that one more goal. They've got to stick at it. But you can just tell, Mick, at ground level, when they kick a goal, the Pies, the crowd just erupts, and it's no doubt going to lift the players to a greater level.
Well, here's Williams. And Ackermanis, they're having a terrific drill. Ricky Renshaw, the dangerous Buckley. Chris Johnson's after him. He can't pick it up, Buckley. He'll probably end up with it. He's a great player. Soccers it off the ground. Back it comes to Ashcroft. He finds Ackermanis. Off they go. Lappin. Now he goes the other way because he had no one to give it to. On he goes to Lambert. That's a great kick to McRae by Lambert. Now McRae's going to get it moving quickly. He brings it back in front of goal. Lynch will mark this. Oh, he couldn't quite grab it. Here he goes, though, a goal to Brisbane.
Well, a vital goal for the Lions into the breeze. 8-5 to 3 goals 3. And just under 2 minutes remaining to half-time. Lynch has got 4. Palmed down by Richardson, but taken by Ashcroft. He's worked off the ball by Buckley, and then Bucks gets into the back of his opponent and gives away the free kick to be taken by Craig Lambert. He's got straight in amongst the action after he came off the bench. Great disposal to White, running past Lepic. He's loved this in the last line of defence this year, and he's come forward to kick some goals. Lynch has the spoil put on him. It comes to Hart, who slips like an eel. The kick by Hart is good. Malloy at the back almost. Crashing through Voss. Can't get boot to ball. Malloy there. Crowd wanting a free kick. They're getting involved. And Collingwood good enough to bring it out. Lane just in the nick of time. Puts it wide. And Tarrant deep in defence. Kicked by Tarrant over centre wing. Well delivered to Crow. And he marks.
Scott Crow way out at half forward. He's almost towards centre wing area. He kicks it low. He tried to dummy the kick. Lacamatis, gee, did that well against Williams. Well played, Williams. Well played. Then he was caught by Lawrence, and when you're caught by Lawrence, you are fair dinkum caught.
Yeah, you stay caught. Great tackle there by Lawrence. Paul Williams just couldn't get free of the tackle. Had a couple of players running forward. Good contest there. Ackermanis tried to win front position. Good recovery, good pick up there by Williams, and free kick here.
Keating's
by Keating.
Keating's been exceptional in the ruck. He has dominated the whole ruck contest. He gives it across to Houston. Oh, here come the runners.
And this has killed him.
Kennedy, here they go. They love running from the back line in waves. They do, Brisbane. They've got the loose man going. He can give it across to Lappin. What will Lappin do? He runs to 50. He kicks long at goal. A great kick, a long kick. Touched right on the line. But that was exciting football from the back line, Mickey Maguire.
Yeah, there's no doubt Collingwood forwards have to start manning up. They've got to be more disciplined in that approach at the game, because that's where Brisbane are renowned for setting up their play across that half-back line, change direction through Euskas, through Ackermanis, then the overlap of Leppich or Kennedy may be on. That's what they did on that occasion. Collingwood certainly have to man up a little bit better.
Excellent mark, but here's the siren for half-time. And, well, the celebrations that have happened here today for Collingwood in their last appearance at Victoria Park on match day have gone a bit sour. One of the things that's happening here is there's going to be a wedding performed on the ground at half-time. I hope the marriage goes a bit better than the pies are going.
And she won't look at Voss limping. They wouldn't want injuries to Voss, and we're already Simon Black looks as though he's got a groin injury, and that is bad news for Brisbane, particularly on the eve of the finals. Alistair Lynch inquiring how bad it is. Let's hope it's not for the good of the game, Mick.
Yeah, well, he's not too bad. He wouldn't be laughing and smiling with Craig Starcevich and Alistair Lynch. Probably just a little bit of a knock. He'll get it looked at in the half-time break. There's Lee Matthews. Foreign territory for him, walking from that part of the ground onto Victoria Park. There's the Collingwood boys leaving the arena. They will gather their thoughts at the half-time break, listen to Tony Shaw's address, and hopefully in the third quarter try to get back on track.
Well, the second quarter was dead even. They both kicked 2 goals to each, but Brisbane were going into the breeze. They're in a commanding position, leading by 33 at half-time. Kicked 3, although actually I make Lynch having 4, and for Collingwood they've only kicked 3, singles to Tarrant, Rocker and Brown. So no doubt Tony Shaw in his final ever half-time speech will be revving up the Pies for a big second half in their final appearance at Victoria Park. A Mitsubishi magic moment. Who else on a day like today but Tony Shaw?
The winner of the Norm Smith medal, Tony Shaw.
The years of frustration and heartbreak had come to an end. The man who guided Collingwood out of football's wilderness had become one of the Magpies' great heroes.
I sort of went to my knees and probably had a tear in my eye. That was the main thing. It was just a great relief of sort of not being losers again.
Tony Shaw led Collingwood to the 1990 premiership with a superb and inspirational captain's game.
They put me up on their shoulders in the goal square as we went halfway round, and just to see those people, the cheer squad, and that, it was just unbelievable. They were crying, and I think they were going to have a few beers that night.
The Norm Smith medalist, the proudest man in the land. Tony Shaw, another Mitsubishi memorable moment.
Yes, well done, Tony Shaw. The game's record holder, best on ground that day they won the flag, and his reputation hasn't been sullied at all by his 4 years as coach at Collingwood, even though they've had a singular lack of success since he's been at the helm. Well, at half-time here, there is a kick for cash competition, and a man from the public has a chance to win $10,000. And here he goes. It's John Gawn of Diamond Creek. He has to kick 2 out of 3 to get the money. And his first kick was an absolute shocker. He's probably nervous in front of the crowd here. He is a Collingwood fan, but his second one, through it goes right through the middle. And so John Gawn needs this last one for $10,000 from Primus. And home it goes. And John Gawn is absolutely delighted. He hasn't been on a holiday for 3 years. His son was injured. The Collingwood players have been magnificent to him and the family over the years. And that's Primus money, $10,000 for kicking 2 out of 3. And after the first kick, who would have thought it? After the break, there is a wedding on the ground here at Victoria Park. Don't miss it. Half-time at historic Victoria Park, and the Pies have the job in front of them because Brisbane lead 8-6-54 to 3 goals 3-21.